Boom. We are live, baby. Hope you guys are doing well. We're doing a little agency therapy. Let kind of people filter in here for a second. Let me get a little message going in chat. If you are here with us, comment. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are wrapping up the rest of the year with some success and some great takeaways, some good learning lessons from 2022, and hopefully you guys are well prepared for 2023. And essentially, the subject that I wanted to kind of bring up on this specific agency therapy is just talking about the 10 reasons why 2022 wasn't necessarily your year. And if you had a tough year this year, like it was a very odd time in 2022, right? It's like we hit a little recession. I don't know, like COVID hit like a weird stint as well. And so fluctuations in the marketplace, obviously. If you guys are running agencies, obviously, clients churn, new clients coming in. And so you could have seen some turbulence over the last 12 months, and 2022 honestly may have not been your year, and you could have been a little derailed from it. So I wanted to chat about some things that aren't necessarily like to point out like flaws in your guys's personal lives or business lives. It's more of like things that I've noticed with our agency owners that we're able to consult on a regular basis, and just kind of bring you guys some good words on just some stuff that I think a lot of people could clean up in 2022, and as well as myself, right? Like 2022 wasn't a perfect stint for us over at Hydra either. There was a lot of inconsistencies. There were a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of things that we should have been doing that we didn't quite do. And so that's essentially what I want to chat about today is like one, some reflections that I've noticed about us internally, but also some reflections on a lot of the consulting that we did over the past year. So I think this is going to be an excellent stream for you guys. If you're jumping in late, just jump in where we're at. We're just going to be chatting the whole time here, and basically just talking on some reflections for 2022. So let's jump in. So essentially, how I want to break out this stream today is into two different sections, right? The first section being on the personal side, and then the second section kind of being more on the business oriented side. So you'll kind of notice from the personal list, like these are things that might apply to pretty much anyone, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner in general, or just in your personal life, you might notice that some of these things might hold true to you, and we'll chat about how to fix some of those. And then on the second half, we'll talk a little bit more on the business side of things and uh, kind of fix some of the holes in the business, and some things that we noticed on the business side where people were just really missing gaps in their agencies. And so if you're an agency owner, you're definitely going to want to stick around towards the end part, because the end part is where we're going to be chatting about specifically more agency focused topics, right? Okay, so let's talk on the personal side first, or like my personal list of things that reasons why 2022 potentially was a flop year for yourself. For us, it was a successful year. Did we hit our projections exactly? No, we fell short just slightly of our projections, but we did great still, and I'm very happy with what we did. But here's some things that potentially we could have done better, and also that we saw with other agencies that they could have done a little bit better as well. But this is more on the personal side, and this is more personal to me, and more on the side of like people that I saw in general throughout this year and things that they were struggling with. And the first thing on the list is lack of clear expectations. And essentially, on the lack of clear expectations, something that I notice across a lot of business owners, a lot of people, is that they had very misaligned expectations for the year. And so essentially, there were no clear goals around exactly where that they were wanting to go. Or even worse, they were comparing to other people that were further ahead of them in the journey. And so essentially, their goals were misaligned from what they actually wanted, right? And so sometimes it can be difficult to actually realign your goals if you're measuring up compared to someone else. And there's this famous quote that we'd always use in the fitness space, right? Of you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10, right? So at the end of the day, like setting the right expectations for what you want in life, and clear expectations for what you want in business is really going to be important to you, and it has to hold true to you and your values and your priorities, because at the end of the day, if you're setting your goals based off of what other people are doing, then you're going to have a really hard time measuring up to that, because you're not that person, right? And so make sure that, you tap into your own values, your own priorities. Some of you guys have families, some of you guys have priorities that are bigger than just business, that are bigger than just making money, right? And so make sure that those values align with the expectations, with the projections that you have. I don't know who the Facebook user is that said beast, but I appreciate you. Let me know who you are. But much love to you. Um, so that's kind of the first part, right? So lack of clear expectations. So going into 2022, guys, like make sure you're setting clear expectations and projections for yourself, and review them regularly. Like this is not something that's just like a, hey, we're gonna set this like pie in the sky type of goal or projection for 2023, and we're not gonna revisit it. Like a majority of people do not complete their New Year's resolutions, right? So if you're gonna set a New Year's resolution, which I love New Year's resolution. A lot of people knock them, but I love a good New Year's resolution. Make a plan for it. Set a timeline, right? Make it a smart goal. Okay, make sure it's attainable within that timeline. Okay, but review it regularly, and I think that's the part where people tend to fall off track with their projections, with their goals for the year. Is that a lot of times we just don't review those goals, and we lose sight of it, right? So make sure you're reviewing those. Okay. So that's number one. Holy cow. That one took me like 5 minutes to cover. So we're going to move just a little bit faster, maybe through some of these other ones. Okay. Second one is just lack of planning, man. And in my opinion, success oftentimes requires a lot of planning and the ability to execute the plan effectively, right? Which kind of goes back on the goal side. But if there's not an effective plan and execution to back up the goals, then we're just kind of shooting in the dark, right? And we never want to do that. We want to make sure that we have a plan and we establish routines around that plan. And I'm not someone that is necessarily going to be like, you have to follow this routine on a daily basis. This is something that we have to have super regiment, and it is something that we can't break from. Otherwise, it doesn't have it doesn't have the effect that we want, right? We need to have the separation of established routine, right? But also the flexibility to like not beat ourselves up about it, right? And so for me, like I always mention to people of like, I like to wake up early. Okay. And if 5 a.m. is my wake up time on a regular basis, how many times do you think I actually wake up at 5 a.m.? Well, it's probably like 50, 60% of the time. Like there's days that I wake up and I'm like, dude, I'm tired. And guess what I do? I just sleep more. Okay. And sometimes my day doesn't get started until 7. And that's totally fine. And I think, people think that everyone's like a superhero, which I don't really understand. But you have to be flexible, because if you have this routine that you set in place and you don't measure up to it on certain days and you beat yourself up because of it, you're going to have a really hard time bouncing back from those things, right? And so when you're flexible with your routine, you give yourself the leeway, you give yourself the flexibility to actually accommodate to a schedule, right? And so, with all that being said, like, make sure you guys have a good plan in place. Make sure you have good routines. I'm a huge fan of like solid morning formulas. If you guys don't have like a good morning formula where it's like, hey, like we're getting up, we're drinking water, we're maybe exercising first thing in the day, maybe doing some journaling and some of the deep work that you want to get done first thing in the day. Like those are the things that are really important to knock out first thing in the morning. So if you guys don't have an established morning routine or morning formula, recommend it, man. Like it really does make the biggest difference. Okay. Third piece here is just lack skills and knowledge. A lot of you are searching for more income. Of course, you guys know, like currently we are in a very inflationary period. So things are getting more expensive. So everyone has the want to, of course, make more money. And I don't know of any person that was like, nah, I'm good. I don't need necessarily any more money. You know, and the biggest barrier that I see with people that don't make the money that they want to make is that there's a lack of skills and a lack of knowledge. And a lot of times our success requires specific skills and knowledge, specifically in our field, whether you're in the agency space or not. Like you need to acquire better skills to get paid more, right? And so whatever field that you're in, whether that's agency space or something else, you have to acquire more skills and you have to invest your own money into acquiring those skills. And we spend thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars every single year on education for our team, for ourselves, so we can make advancements. And that's things like courses, people knock gurus all the time, but it's like, dude, like buy someone's course. Truly, it can have a huge effect on the money that you can make. And if you are kind of run down in the position that you're at now, and you're not happy with the money that you make, maybe it's time to learn a new skill set. And something that can actually pay you what you want to be paid. And if you're curious on like, hey, like what does that look like? What are some skills that I can earn? Just reach out to me, DM me, and I'll give you a list of things that you can start to study that will allow you to make more money on a regular basis. Okay. Fourth piece is a lack of focus. This is probably one of the biggest ones that we see currently across everyone that we work with, across anyone that I've ever talked to, is that there's a massive lack of focus currently in our marketplace. And the big thing here, the iPhone, whatever phone you're using, okay, man, the phone is pulling you in so many different directions. And when you have a lack of focus, a lot of times it's hard to focus on your goals and on the tasks that are going to take you to whatever projections or goals that you want to get to. And so you have to eliminate distractions, right? And you got to pull certain distractions out of your life and actually remove the the stimulant from whatever your life is, right? So if it's you need focus time, you need to get the phone out of the room. You need to get the phone somewhere else, put it in a cabinet, somewhere where you're not going to be thinking about it and it's not visible. And there's a bunch of other distractions, right? Whether that's you're playing too many video games, which I love playing video games, but it has to be measured. Same thing with like television, binge watching your favorite TV show. I think there's room for it. I think there should be room for it. I think you should have downtime and flexibility in your schedule. But, when it's time to do the work, sometimes it seems like there's a lack of focus. And so, with that being said, eliminate your distractions in this upcoming year. I think you'll find that you'll have a lot more success. I started sleeping with my phone outside of the bedroom. I started removing the phone from my workspace whenever I'm doing deep work sessions. Okay, the phone is away. That way, I don't just get pulled into my next notification, right? And that happens often. Is that we just get pulled into whatever way the world wants us to go right now. That's like the horrible thing about notifications. We even get them on our desktop. So eliminate some notifications on your desktop because if you are being pulled in the direction of the world and whatever they want you to see, then at the end of the day you're going to have a really hard time staying focused on the things that you really need to be doing to accomplish the next level, right? And same thing goes with like your inputs as well, and this is kind of like a sidebar from this is everything has an algorithm nowadays. So whether that's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everything has an algorithm tied to it. And if you do not dictate your inputs and what you're learning and what you're watching, consuming on a regular basis, then the algorithms will choose for you. And you'll be at the mercy of the algorithms to essentially learn what you want to learn and consume what you want to consume. And so that's where like a good steady, we call it an intake diet or a like a learning diet really comes into play. Like you should be scheduling exactly what you want to learn, and that way it's not just pulled to random. Because I know a lot of people that do a lot of they've learned a lot of their education from YouTube, but what's YouTube? It's just an algorithm, right? And it's going to show you the thing that it thinks you want to see, and sometimes that thing is not the most important thing that you need to see, right? So lack of focus, get the focus dialed in, baby. Okay. Fifth thing is it's going to sound a little pie in the sky, but it's just a negative mindset. And with negative mindsets, I think one of the most difficult things to kind of overcome is any past experiences that you've had that have kind of put you in this negative mindset of like you're not able to accomplish a certain thing, or a chip on the shoulder that is the main driver behind why you do what you're doing, whether that was a bad relationship, whether that was really a lot of times it's just the bad relationships, right? And that's the driver behind exactly why you do what you do. That kind of mindset is going to get you nowhere fast, right? And so you have to remove that negative mindset from your life, right? And you have to remove those negative energies from your life. And once again, I know it sounds a little pie in the sky, and it is totally, but I promise you, if you work on the mindset throughout this year, if you kind of just let go of the stuff from the past, some of the negativity, and whether it was a bad relationship or something else, it's like you just let those things go and you let them be the past and you forgive those people and you move on. It doesn't mean you have to associate with them, right? Forgiveness is not a direct tie to being associated with that person. You are easily allowed to say, "Hey, I forgive that person, but I don't need them in my life anymore, and they're not going to be in my life anymore." Um, that's totally fine, and you can move on. You can start building for the right reasons, which is normally impact and having a positive effect on people's lives. So make sure on the negative mindset side, you just got to have your mindset in the right place. Okay. Number six, lack of self confidence. And I find that lack of self confidence once again ties back into measuring up to other people and not feeling like you're capable of doing those things. So, you know, one thing that you guys, could potentially work on, and this is something that I'm working on a regular basis because there are tons of people, even consultants, right, that have much bigger businesses than myself, and obviously we strive to do our best in what we can do, but um, you know, they can have a true impact on your confidence. So make sure you guys aren't measuring up to other people. Make sure that you're continuing to play your game. Okay, play your journey. That's what truly matters, right? Number eight, I'm sorry, we're on number seven. Okay, so number seven, lack of support. Okay, from this, you're gonna find that your circle is going to become more and more important to you as you try to increase your wealth, as you try to make more money. And if your circle is wrong and your support lines are wrong, they're just going to be holding you back, right? And so, with that being said, if you have friends that aren't necessarily on the same journey as you and are not wanting to make the strides that you're making, then chances are it's time to get around people that are wanting to do those things. And a good rule of thumb for this is always like have someone that's like kind of like way ahead of you in your circle. Have someone that's roughly on the same wavelength as you, or maybe in a similar position as you, and then have someone that is maybe a couple steps behind you but are hungry. Right, that's the type of circle that you're looking for when it comes to like building an inner circle that you can lean on and get support from, right? And these circles are not easy to build. It's a lot of vetting people and moving people in and out of the circle, and sometimes it's not very fun, right? Because you do have to cut relationships, you have to cut ties with people. And I'm not saying like you have to remove all of your friendships. Like I have a very strong circle of close friends that are on the business side. I have a very close circle of friends that are on just more on the personal side. Do I talk with my friends that are on the business side more? Of course, like that is where I spend 99 percent of my time when it comes to like my friends is are my business friends, because that's what I'm doing, right? That's what I'm building as a business. And so for me, it's like I'm going to spend time with people that are going to help me and support me in what I'm doing, and vice versa. But always make time for my other friends as well. Okay. Number eight, lack of adaptability. Okay. And when we talk about adaptability, there's a lot of changes that we've seen over the past couple of years, especially in the marketing space. And so when things rapidly change, we have to be able to pivot along with it. So just staying away from getting stuck in what's currently working, right? Because in the next couple months, it could not be working, right? So make sure you guys are consistently adapting that and making sure that you're having adaptability in the marketplace. And man, if you're in a situation or in a market that you're just not happy with, might be time to make a shift, right? So make sure you guys are staying adaptable and agile. Okay. Number nine is just simply poor decision making. At the end of the day, like we're in charge of kind of what we do on a regular basis. And so if your decisions always align with something that isn't going to get you to what the North Star goal is, then a lot of times we're just not going to get there, right? And the only person that we can blame at that point is ourselves. And so when it comes to poor decision making, it's like, dude, 2023 just gotta be a year of great decisions, right? Things that pull us towards the goal, not take us away, right? So make sure your decision making is in alignment and on point. Okay. And then number 10, last one on the personal side here is we're just talking lack of resilience. This shit's hard, man. Like if you're trying to make money, if you're trying to build wealth, this shit is not easy. Success requires a lot of resilience, and you need the ability to bounce back relatively quick from losses, right? And any setback that you're going to see in 2023, it almost has to be like a brush of the shoulder, and then we continue moving, right? And I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we hold things too closely to the chest, and we hold success too closely to the chest. And when we trip up, when we fail at things, we don't have the resilience to simply one, not take it to heart and not take it personally. Success isn't personal, right? It's just you're playing a game, right? And you're gonna make mistakes along in that game. You can't take it personal because at the end of the day, it's like your ability to bounce back from that is your only ability to move forward. Okay, so make sure that obviously you're building up your resiliency during this time. It's not easy. Okay, it's simple in concept, and it's a simple point to make, but the execution of it is not easy, right? Building that resilience and continuing to have resilience on a week to week basis, even through some of the more difficult times that we're inevitably going to see in 2023. So make sure that you guys are building that resilience and you're able to bounce back from those things. Don't hold your success too close to the chest. Okay, bounce back quickly, stay agile, keep moving forward. Okay, so that's the personal side. That's what we're seeing kind of like on the personal side. Now, if you kind of stay tuned specifically for the agency list and the 10 things that we've kind of seen over the last year when it comes to agencies that either fell flat, didn't grow, went backwards, here it is. Here's the list right here. Okay, got it for you. Okay, so the agency list. The first one is lack of clear marketing strategy. It's so funny to me that people run marketing agencies, and we see it all the time. I would say 99% of agencies that are currently operating have no internal marketing strategy for themselves, which means it's hard to attract new clients and it's hard to grow. So really develop a strong marketing strategy for 2023 is really the clear roadmap here. And whether that is a new marketing strategy when it comes to lead generation, so LinkedIn, Twitter, like there's so many different avenues, content creation. Like if you guys aren't creating content, it's like what are we doing? We have to get back into the mindset of we have to create content and we have to have a strong marketing strategy going into 2023. Otherwise, we're not going to hit our projections, right? Because we have to book calls. Those calls have to show up and we have to close sales. Okay. And if you're looking to grow, those are the pivotal things that you need to pay attention to within your marketing strategy in 2023. So make sure you guys have a clear marketing strategy going into 2023. We'll be bringing some content on our marketing strategies. And we already posted a few videos on this. So go back, watch some of those, give you a clear marketing strategy for 2023. Okay. From there, lack of differentiation. It's a hard word to say, differentiation. Okay. So lack of differentiation. And what we mean by that exactly is that you're not unique. Sorry. And if that offends you, I apologize. But man, your agency just doesn't stand out. Okay. And at the end of the day, like no one's going to choose the agency that blends in with everyone else and offers the exact same thing. And the best example that I always give, and I always give it on this channel, and we've talked to this entrepreneur multiple times, Mr. Aaron Nosbish over at Lucid, or We Are Lucid. If you guys aren't familiar, go check them out. Dude, like these guys have a niche positioning so strong, and they have a value proposition so strong that they literally can't lose. And I'll knock on wood for Aaron since he's not here, but man, like so difficult to actually lose when you have differentiation that your agency stands out and is much different, has a very unique selling proposition, has something that no one else has, or it feels like they have something that no one else has, even if it is the exact same service that someone else has, right? And so, if you have this lack of differentiation, and this is something that you'll kind of notice with a lot of the agencies that we start to work with and we start to mold, is that we try to make them stand out. We make them different, right? Because when you go to the selling table, when you go to actually pitch these new clients, you can't just be another agency, right? Especially if you're in the e-com niche. Oh my gosh, so many brands have now been burnt, specifically on agency services, right? And so if you're looking for the edge in 2023, you have to be different and you have to have differentiation, right? So continue to work on that differentiation. What makes you different than any other agency, right? Oz agreed. Aaron is a genius. He's a freaking gangster. And so, with that being said, guys, like, what is the unique selling proposition going into 2023? It has to be different, right? It can't continue to be the same thing year after year and just hoping for growth. I mean, you might as well gamble your money at that point, right? Because it's better used there than your hope that your generalized agency is the thing that's going to get you the wealth that you want to build, uh, whatever it is, whatever your goals are, right? So differentiate this year. Okay, number three, and this one always cracks me up because if you ask any guru, you're going to get pulled in multiple different ways of if this is actually important or not. Uh, Poor designed website. I had to throw it in the mix, and I did it for my boy Nicholas Reed over at 253 Media. He's a web developer. But guys, a poorly designed website, man. Like, and I'm not saying you need something like Super Gangster, but a poorly designed website will be one of the fastest turnoffs to the types of clients that you want to land, especially if you're trying to land clients that are more established. Dude, your website's your online resume, right? And if they go to your website and they see some, WordPress, and I'm not saying WordPress is bad, but I've seen a lot of bad WordPress websites in my day. If they go on, they see a crappy WordPress website that's super generic. It doesn't have that differentiation that we were talking about. Okay. It doesn't stick out at all. You're going to have such a hard time landing those clients because that's one of the first things that they're going to look at when they vet you as a client. Now, if you're still in the beginning stages and you're like, Josh, like I'm just reaching out to like family and friends and seeing if they'd be interested in this service. Okay, cool. Like don't worry about your website right now. Okay. If you're just getting started, chances are you don't need to worry about it. But if you're like starting to get a little bit more established, you're running those like 20K, 30K type months, dude, you got to have a decent website. And not saying it has to be perfect and it has to be like, it doesn't have to be like a $30,000 website, but dude, throw like 3 G's at it, 4 G's at a new website that is going to stand out and people are going to be like, huh, they they seem different than the last web or the last agency that we worked with, right? So that differentiation in a nicely designed website is going to help you in 2023. And I'm not saying like drop a bunch of money. And no, Nicholas Reed is not paying me to say this right now. This is something that I truly believe. We spent a decent amount of money this year on a new website, and it's been a game changer for us. Right? People are going to look at our website when they are considering us as a consultancy, and so we want it to look great. And so we invested money into it. So make sure you have a well-designed website. Okay. I'll leave it there. I'll stop hammering that one down. Number four, lack of specialization. And this comes back into the differentiation, but the actual specialization of your agency service. Okay. And here's the thing with specialization, you have to be good at what you do, right? Like you can't just be like, yeah, I'm specializing in it and not deliver on a service. But maybe this is the year that you need to start cutting some of the services that you're like, dude, we're just not very good at that one. Like SEO, not our jam. Facebook ads, not our jam. But hey, we're like hella good at TikTok creatives and running TikTok ads. Like that's our jam. That's where our clients have the most success. Niche it down. Okay. Specialize. And then eventually what you can do as you grow those departments, maybe you can expand if the capital is there for you to expand into those. But now is not the time to be a generalist. Now is the time to be a specialist and be exceptional in what you do, not a generalist and not just mediocre. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Number five, pricing and billing strategies. Ooh, this one gets me amped up. And here's why. A lot of times we are setting pricing, we're setting billing based off of what our competitors are doing, which is usually going to be the wrong strategy because what is profitable for them might not be profitable for you and vice versa, right? And so, with that being said, when you guys look at your pricing, it should be based because at the end of the day, you guys do charge 4 hours for your team, right? That's what you guys charge for. And I know a lot of you are like, Josh, I don't charge by the hour for my agency service. Yes, I know that, but you do pay your employees technically an hourly rate, even if they're on salary. Okay. That does boil down to an hourly rate. And you have to have a good understanding of what that hourly rate is per employee so you can price accordingly and actually build in the margins into your pricing that you need, right? And if you don't know how to do that, reach out to me. We have a calculator that does it. I will give it to you 100% for free. Happy to give you a calculator that will help you be more profitable in 2023. But man, like pricing and billing strategies have to be in alignment. And that was on the pricing side, but on the billing side, man, enough of this like shipping out invoices, guys, and hoping that your clients pay one day. Collect your money, right? But before the project starts, I promise there are plenty of clients out there that will do this. We had 65 clients at the peak of our agency. All of those 65 clients paid before we did any work. Okay. So it was how we structured things. And if they didn't like it, they could go to an agency that they could pay them half now and half later. Okay. It's just not how we work. And I would highly recommend that you guys shift the way that you're billing this year. Okay. If that's how you're billing. Okay. If not, if you're doing what I just said, awesome. Keep doing it. You're rocking and rolling. Okay. Number 6 on the agency list. Poor client relationships. This one gets me upset because I've been chatting with a few agencies recently that have referred out some work that the agency, you still do prorated. What do you mean by prorated, Oz? So they always bill on the 15th. No, man. So essentially, how our billing structures normally worked within our agencies was when they get billed on the day that they signed up. Okay. So essentially, how the sales conversation goes is like, hey, Josh, this seems awesome. Let's sign up for this. Okay, awesome. Real quick. And if this is like over an email, sweet. Let's hop on the phone real quick and let's get you onboarded, right? Always use the onboarded. And normally what we do is kind of like a tricky to onboard system where the first onboard is like, hey, man, you're just like, you're signing my agreement and you're paying me. And then I'll give you something, but it'll be like, I'm going to set up your Slack channel and then the team's going to do the rest of the onboarding for you. And so, with that being said, like, in my opinion, if you really wanted to get spicy on this, uh, someone says, hey, like, we're ready to move forward with this through like an email. Okay. Don't just send them an agreement and an invoice. It's going to be sitting there for 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. Wait. Okay. Shoot them an email and be like, hey, awesome. Let's get you onboarded. All I need for you to do is grab a time on my calendar for sometime X. Okay. Next week, tomorrow, whatever. Let's go ahead and get you on board and we'll get started. Cool. Cool. Awesome. They book a call with you. All right. Awesome. Like, we're going to start your onboarding process. First thing I need you to do is just sign this agreement right here. Boop. Okay. And then after you sign that agreement, we're going to run your first payment. Okay. Sometimes you get kicked back on them. Oh, like, I need my legal team to take a look at it. Okay. If you need your legal team to take a look at it, cool. Like, what happens and that's the thing, is like, what happens if your legal team says no? Because I'm not changing my agreement, right? So at the end of the day, it's like, this is either going to happen or it's not. And you could have your legal team take a look at it, but I'm just saying right now, like, no matter what your legal team says, we don't change our agreement. So, you know, yeah, like, yeah, if you need some time to digest that, go ahead. But we're not ready to onboard yet then. So I'll give you the agreement. And when you're ready, we'll jump back on the phone. We'll take care of the rest. Right. That's how we do it, man. Like, nothing sits in the inboxes. So with that being said, like, that's how I would adjust it, and then collect the agreement on the phone, and then from there, go ahead and charge payment, right? ACH credit card authorization right on the agreement, and that way, when they sign it, you are free to charge them for their first month, and then we put that shit on auto pay. It runs every 30 days, and we'd let them know, hey, every 30 days, just to let you know, every 30 days, this bill is going to hit. Okay, it's very predictable. It's very recurring revenue-esque, right? And we like that recurring revenue. We like to see the regular cadence of recurring revenue. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question. So no, we do not bill on the same date every month. It is when they sign up, when they're ready to roll, is when they pay us, and then that's the date. And so we have cash coming in, sporadically. So it's like, we're just getting hit with Stripe Stripe notifications like almost every day. It's fantastic, and it feels pretty good. That way you're not like, okay, on the 15th everything comes in and we have to like wait till the 15th to feel good about our cash position, right? So which, if you want to do it all on the 15th, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. I just don't want to delay billing. I want my cash now. So if like someone's ready to move forward, I don't want to be like, oh, it's the 3rd today, we're gonna wait to bill you to the 15th. Dude, I'm getting paid now. Like, I don't want to wait till the 15th. You might change your mind in 13 days, right? So with that being said, just my 2 cents. Doesn't mean that's how you have to do it, but that's how we do it. Okay. Where were we at? Poor client relationships. Okay. That was the 6th point here. And on the poor client relationships, guys, just communication standards. on this side. We're seeing a lot of like broken communication standards with clients of like they're not even getting reporting out on time. And I'm like, dude, like that's the bare minimum of running an agency is like reports hit their desk at the same time every week, every month, whatever your cadence is on reporting, consistent, rhythmic. They know when to expect it, right? That's how you know that your client is going to trust you and they're going to stay with you long term is when they know what to expect from you, right? And so it has to be regular, it has to be rhythmic. Make sure your communication standards are in line and make sure that the client relationship stays in a really good position. And a lot of that boils down to your communication with them and your ability to deliver the results. So I would put it two sides, results and communication. If either of those are misaligned, obviously, if the results are bad, then of course you're not going to keep that client. But I've seen a lot of clients churn simply because the communication standards were poor. Okay. So keep your communication standards up. We always like to say reactive, not proactive, right? So be reactive to your client's needs. And if stuff or deliverables are going to be late, you're going to miss a timeline, something like that, communicate with them. Let's get ahead of it instead of them reaching out to you and being like, hey, where's my content? Hey, these ads were supposed to launch 2 days ago. Where are they at? We never want to be in that situation. It puts us on the defense and it has a higher likelihood of us losing that client. Now, if we're falling behind and we're more proactive about it and we say, hey, Oz, just a heads up here. We're running just a little bit late on the content. We're going to need 2 extra days because we're putting some final touches on the edits. The edits took just a little bit longer than we need. Is that cool? What are they going to say? And be like, yeah, dude, no worries. No problem. Okay. And it's like, does it suck a little bit? Sure. But way better than them being like, dude, like, where's my content? You said it would be done 2 days ago. Right. So be reactive, not proactive. Okay. Um, Number 7, lack of focus on the actual client results. So we split that one into two: the client relationship side, right? Good communication, client results. That carries over into this one. Guys, be focused on your client results. Don't get removed from the team too quickly. And this is where we see client results tend to really drift off. Is that when we tend to scale up as agencies, we will. We will pass off fulfillment, which is totally normal. We want that, right? Like we want to delegate tasks away and we want to be able to pass off the fulfillment of our agency. But here's the thing, man, like you're the person that got the fulfillment to where it was for your clients and delivered an exceptional result. You have to make sure that the team can deliver on that same result. If not, those clients, man, they leave you real quick. Okay. Because if they know someone else is running the account and it's not you, and they're not seeing success, their ability to feel that you guys are going to win in the long term just goes away. So continue to train the team, continue to show the team exactly how to deliver the results that you once were able to deliver for them when you were doing fulfillment. So it's not, when we say you're getting removed from fulfillment, it doesn't mean that you're taking a back seat to fulfillment. It means that you're still in the trenches with your team. It's just you're not in the day-to-day tasks of the actual fulfillment. You're training, you're teaching, you're coaching your team to be the best possible fulfillment team that they can be. Okay. So that's lack of focus on clients' results. Number 8, we talked about this on the personal side, but poor branding, marketing efforts. Okay. At the end of the day, if your agency doesn't have strong branding, good marketing, okay, you guys aren't going to grow. Okay. So guys, there's so many strategies out there, and here's the thing: is like marketing is not fun, sales is not fun. Um, those things tend to come second nature, and they tend to be the thing that we push off to the very last minute. So, if you're still in the position of like, hey man, like I'm still doing just like cold outreaches to get my clients, dude, gotta beat the drum. Gotta beat the dead horse, man. It's not fun. But you just gotta keep doing it until you get to a client point where you can delegate some of those activities away. Yo, what up, Snooze? Good to see you, brother. So at the end of the day, you guys, marketing efforts really have to be in alignment this year. Don't let it fall by the wayside. Make sure that your marketing strategy continues to be strong here. And I think I doubled down on that point. I think I put it at 1 and 8. So just doubling down on it again, guys. Like, marketing is going to be your number one thing in your marketing agency. Market yourself. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on now. Like, get yourself out there, get a good marketing strategy in place. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's cold outreach, doesn't matter if it's organic content, doesn't matter if it's paid ads. It all freaking works. You just have to be able to spend enough money to do it. You either have to put enough time in and have a long enough time horizon for organic content to work, or you have to do enough of the cold outreach for it to actually take effect. So you pick your poison, you pick what you want to tackle, and go get after it, because that's essentially how it works. Okay. Um, all right, last couple here. You guys still with me? Just give me a little pump up here. Give me a little yeah in the chat. Snooze a little yeah in the chat for me. Would appreciate it. I feel like I've been talking all day. I've done like 3 trainings today, and a couple client calls, and I'm like, I'm coming on the end of my energy. So hopefully I'm bringing it for you guys. Hopefully you guys are feeling this. I'm feeling good. Uh, and I hope this is good content for you guys. Sky, what's up, brother? You just snuck in here, man. You just snuck right in here. Yeah, Mr. Sky. Sky, Tyler said what's up. He's sitting here. Come here for a second. Get your booty in here. Tyler shooting.
Yeah. What's up, dude?
He's down here.
What are you on?
We're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We are live across all the channels, baby. Oh shoot, there's a bunch down here. Dr. Disrespect voice. I feel so I got sick a couple weeks ago, and so my voice is kind of, you know, just a little deeper than it normally is. Oz, dealing with the hells of QuickBooks. Let me know what your woes are, my friend. I can probably help you out on the QuickBooks side. Speaking of, we have a really cool thing happening on the financial side with Hydra. We're going to be bringing on a financial service specifically for Hydra clients and agency clients. So I'm pretty stoked about it. We're not releasing it quite yet, but probably mid to late Q1, we're going to be rolling that out. Yeah, recurring billing on QuickBooks was a little bit weird for me. That's why I moved over to Stripe, which I know that Oz, that you're having some Stripe issues, but I don't know if it's gotten better on QuickBooks, but there should be a way to do recurring billing on QuickBooks. So, Sky, you see him in the background taking candids. Always, dude. Always got to get candids in there. We're leaning into more content this year. So you guys are gonna see a lot of me. So if you guys are enjoying the stream, one, don't forget to leave a like. Would appreciate it. That helps us reach more people, right? And then the second piece, if you're not subscribed, which all of you guys are in here are currently subscribed, I would really appreciate it. Subscriptions help if you guys are getting good information from this. So anyways, I said I'll never use Stripe. They locked up 10 Gs. Dude, I'm very fortunate that I've never had any issues with Stripe. Like, thank the Lord, praise Jesus. That I haven't had any issues, but we are actually looking at getting into another payment processor, only because for us, we just get absolutely destroyed on processing fees. I think I paid like $3,000 in processing fees last month, and I'm like, like, dude, that's like straight profit that we're losing. So yeah, Square's pretty good too. Snooze. We used to use that in our agency for a little bit, and then we eventually moved over to Stripe. All right, you guys, let's wrap up these few, and then we can answer some questions if you guys have some, or if you want to jump on stream with me, we can jam for a little bit. Just let me know what you want to do in the comments. Would be happy to do either for you guys. But let's chat a little bit more. We got 2 points left to cover here. Number 9, lack of effective team management. This one kind of comes back to like, man, like, you guys, just because you're passing off a film and just because you're delegating doesn't mean that the training is over, right? Like, you want great culture. You want a team that really takes education seriously. You have to lead the charge there, right? And you have to give them the tools, the resources to succeed in those areas. Like, I just bought Tyler a brand new course. I just bought him consulting with or I'm going to be buying him consulting with Andrew Deitch. Like, dude, like, we pour into our people because that's what's going to keep them interested in staying long term and continue to advance their craft, right? So, dude, invest in your team. 100% tax write off, education, right? Any of that stuff, you can write that stuff off. So, invest in your team, invest in yourself, right? That's why we invest so heavily into courses, masterminds, events, all of that stuff. Like, we pour a ton of money into that stuff every year because, one, it's a tax write off, and two, dude, like, we're just getting advancements in knowledge. Like, imagine like, some of the best people in entrepreneurship, like we get to hang around with and be able to learn from simply because we just pay the price to do it. And for me, like what this really dives down into is it's delayed gratification, right? So I don't drive the Lambo. I don't drive the McLaren. I don't have the the apartment's nice. Okay. I won't be lying to you there. Okay. But we're not splurging on stuff day to day. Like I'm not eating at Eddie V's every night. I'm not going to Chop House every night. Like, dude, we keep it lean and mean, baby. And we invest in the things that actually matter, and we delay the gratification. And if you've watched any like Gary Vaynerchuk over the last couple of months, you're gonna notice him talking about this as like delayed gratification of success, right? That stuff will happen eventually. But for me, like I'm investing in knowledge, I'm investing into myself, my team, and we're putting money into growth, right? Now that doesn't mean we don't take profit. Okay, we don't invest so much that we can't take profit every month. But I'm telling you, man, like there is something about taking 10 grand out of the 20 grand that you made for the month and dumping that boy into a mastermind and getting a better network, getting a better circle of people around you that are going to advance your knowledge and make you better, and get around people that are at milestones that are ahead of you. Man, it's powerful, dude. I'm telling you. So just keep that top of mind going into 2023. Okay. And lastly, the last point that I'm going to make, and honestly, it's not a very hard hitting point, so we'll kind of move quickly through, is just lack of adaptability, right? Guys, things change, right? So you can't get stuck doing the same things over and over again. We see this, we saw this a lot with Facebook, Facebook agencies over the last 2 years of like some Facebook agencies just failed. Why? Because they were doing things the way that they were doing them before iOS 14 and they didn't want to change. Okay. And they didn't adapt to the new things that they needed to adapt to. That was new marketing channels. Like, honestly, I think the Facebook ads agencies that are actually still doing pretty well are the ones that added on email and SMS. To be honest, like they stack those on, and they're excellent pairs to go together. And they invested, right? They put time, money, effort, personnel behind being adaptable. So continue to be adaptable in 2023. I won't go too deep on that one anymore. But that is the agency list. That's the personal list. 48 minutes of straight learnings, lessons from agency owners, from my own personal learnings, things that we were adapting to, we saw other people adapt to, mentors, like everything that we had to learn over 2022, the mistakes we made, the mistakes we've seen other people make, and how you can change those in 2023. And some of them might just be like, duh, Josh. But it's like, is the action actually behind it, right? So keep those things top of mind. You can always go back and rewatch some of this. We're gonna make some content from this as well. So we'll actually make a YouTube video specifically from this video, and we'll make it a little bit more segmented. So if you guys like that stuff, leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you guys have questions, happy to open it up for questions. If you got them, drop them in chat. If you want to join me on the live stream, just pipe up in the chat as well. I can bring you guys on board. Would love to hear a little bit more about what you guys are doing on within your agency. What goals, projections do you have for 2023? Is there anything that I can specifically help with for you guys going into this new year? This is the last agency therapy of the year. I'm super excited. Agency therapy will be changing. So as you guys are asking questions in chat, agency therapy will be changing slightly. You got a pretty awesome opportunity that can't quite share yet, but interviews with other entrepreneurs is officially over, which is kind of wild. So I can, it's not that I can't do it. It's just kind of a conflict of interest with a new venture that I'm doing with someone in the space. And so you will not be seeing any more interviews with other agency owners or other entrepreneurs on this channel. But what you will see is more agency therapies just like this. And then we're also going to be launching a segment called Watch Me, where literally I'm going to build stuff live, whether that's for Hydra, whether that's specifically for a client. Well, of course, not. We won't share who that client is, but if I'm working on a project of like systems, marketing strategy, whatever it might be, I'm actually going to do it live in front of you guys and be able to share some of those tactics with you, and you can take those and run with them in whatever whatever direction that you want to run it with. So, Snooze, you want to come up on the stream for a minute? Let's bring you up, brother. I'll just drop the link in the old chat here, and you guys can jump in. This is probably a really bad thing to do for if this channel does ever decide to grow, which with the consistency we're about to put in 2023, it's going to grow. The goal is 2,000 subs by the end of 2023. So Tyler and I are going to get it there. You guys are going to see a lot of content from us over the next year. So, boom, Mr. Jeremy in the house.
Oh, let me pause that. Hello. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Boom. Now I can hear you. What's up, brother? Getting that hydration in. You love to see it.
Oh, dude, this is like my first meal of the day. Actually, not so. That's my second. I don't know if you saw my story. I moved, so I'm in the process of moving right now.
Dude, we had an Instagram DM chat about it. I'm super happy for you, man.
Oh yeah, we're talking
Congratulations
about
on the
fucking
move.
Ann Arbor and all that shit. And sorry.
Yeah, dude. Dude,
Yeah,
congrats on dude. It's gonna be a game changer for you, man. There's nothing like one moving out of the parents' place, but also just having the room and like doing it on your own for once. Like I remember moving into my first apartment, bro. I paid $750 per month
I wish.
for my apartment. Yeah, dude. I was in a rough area, dude. I'm talking like I was in it was a duplex. I had the bottom half of the duplex.
Okay.
And at one point during the winter, our heat completely shut off. Like I'm not in an apartment complex. I'm like in a house that's split into two.
Mhm.
It was just not a nice neighborhood. It was not a nice area. We had like mice running through the house and stuff. Oh, dude, it was rough. It was rough for me, but it was so much fun. Like I remember just like I don't know. I remember moving in and I remember just being like, this is my space. Like,
Yeah.
how cool is this? So I said the lowest rent I ever got was 400 during college. Yeah, dude. I think
Was that-
750 was the lowest I ever got.
That has to be like on like that has to be either like on campus or that has to be like a shared room, like a room in like a you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's a 2K per month apartment, but it's like 4 bedrooms or whatever. But
Yeah, and you're splitting it between like 4 roommates.
also tomorrow when we chat, I'll put you on a square. But dude, yeah, no, I'm excited to like build my domain because like I built myself up to myself and also my business to a really respectable place. I'm happy where I'm at right now, especially recently. Like, the growth has been exponential. And like now it's like, okay, I've done that all with, you know, drums behind me, bands coming over the weekend, like family home,
Yeah.
like so much just garbage and, you know, so much unideal stuff. And now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, like I'm ready to take that step. Like it's cool. And I was there today. I was putting stuff there and it's like, wow, this is real. And then like, I feel so fortunate to be like, not only is it just my own space, but it's like, it's a fucking nice place too. Like I am
Yeah, dude.
like genuinely like, damn, like it's cool. Like I showed my friends and like, they're like, wow, this is nice as hell. And like one of my friends who has a great apartment too, like probably one of the best in town, he's like, dude, this is nice. Like it's, you know, brand new,
Let's
renovated,
go.
like, you know, literally brand new, like has all the appliances, dishwasher, in-unit washer, dryer, like everything. Like, you know, like
Let's go.
you know what I'm saying? Like, so
Oh yeah.
it's cool. Cool. So what, dude?
I love that for you, brother. That's awesome.
I appreciate that. I don't know if you've already kind of touched on this, but so what's 2023 looking like for Mr. Joshi Kabayashi here? What's the goal?
Oh, brother, we're running all over right now. It's crazy. So, this past month we've had our biggest month ever in our company's history, which is awesome.
That's huge,
love
man.
that.
Applause
but-
right now. Round of applause.
Yeah, thank you. But as far as like 2023 goes, man, I'm trying to think if there's like anything specifically I can give you a sneak peek on. Hydra Council will be coming back in 2023. So April 28th and 29th is going to be our next live event that we're hosting. It's going to be slightly different. We're maxing it at 65 people. And we're going to be doing a split between like keynote speakers, but also workshop. So like we're literally going to do like open laptop sessions and actually, you know, do a little bit more intimate, like probably like 10 to 20 people like sessions that are a little bit more intimate and like allowing people to like go deep on the problems of their agency. And we're going to segment things into the fulfillment lanes of the agency. So lead gen, market, lead gen, sales, fulfillment, HR, finance, and be able to have experts there to help you directly with whatever problems that you're currently having. So if you're having lead gen issues, if you're having fulfillment issues, if you're having, any type of issue, like we'll have an expert there that is going to workshop specifically on your business versus it just being like a keynote and being like a very broad topic. Like you're going to be able to get help on your specific problem in Hydra Council. So that's where we're kind of directing Hydra Council to. That's really exciting. I mentioned it's a podcast commitment. I can tell you guys that much. We're rolling out a podcast.
Podcast commitment. Heard it here first.
You heard it here first, which it'll be rolling out relatively soon. We filmed the intro for it. And I'm super stoked for it because I'm like, it's an opportunity that I was just like, wait, me? It was one of those. And I was like, shit, like, thanks for thinking of me. Like, of course I want to do this. But yeah, let's roll. So you guys will be learning a little bit more about that. I'm really excited about it, but it does mean that I have to stop interviewing people on agency therapy, which is totally fine because we're going to be interviewing some really amazing people and you guys are going to be able to consume that content as well. And like, we're going to be getting access to some of like the top agency owners in the freaking world. Like it's insane. Like our lineup for interviews is bananas, dude. And I'm so excited to roll that out. What else? Huge push in content this year. Organic is going to be like the thing that gets us to our revenue projections for this year. So a combination of that and then also some other lead gen channels that we'll share with you guys. We're getting really scrappy on LinkedIn cold outreach right now. We've got 4 profiles currently running on cold outreach. And last month it booked us 40 calls.
Wow.
Yeah, man, pretty wild. So we're putting a setter in place to help vet some of those calls because as I'm sure you know, like 40 calls, about 70% of them, 80% of them are completely unqualified.
Yeah. And
which is totally fine. Yeah. In the show rate, right? The show rate, it's like we booked probably 60, and like 20 of those didn't even show up, right?
Yeah.
And then we're launching a free program that is meant for agencies between 0 and 40K. That will launch sometime in Q1 as well. Basically what we wanted, like, so the agencies that we tend to work with, we try to take on agencies that are doing roughly north of 40K per month. And then we have another program that's like north of 80K per month. So running at like roughly $1 million run rate. And so like, that's like where we just enjoy working. We don't necessarily enjoy working with like people that are just getting their start in the agency space, which we've taken on some of those and it's not necessarily bad by any means. And we've had some success with some, but it's just not the game that we necessarily want to play. So we're putting out free resource specifically for that. It's going to be one, we're going to have a free course on it, but also we're going to be putting out a lot more free resources to help people get to their 40K months 100% for free. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm stoked on that one. That one's going to be really exciting. I think that's just going to be just a great goodwill card for us to like just get people in our pipeline. It's like, hey man, like if we can help someone get to 40K, chances are they'll trust us to get them to 80K, right? So that's kind of the North Star goal with that. I'm trying to mentally comb through some of our stuff. We're currently building out a financial service within our consultancy as well. We're partnering with a financial service. There's a massive hole in the bookkeeping / financial services side for agencies. Things like stupid stuff like these financial services can't get P&Ls out on time. They can't do like custom reports if they're requested. And it's like, dude, it's such a stupid thing to not be able to fix for your client, but we've gotten enough complaints about it from our clients that we're just like, okay, like let's partner with someone. And so we found this incredible fractional CFO that has a fractional CFO services that works directly with e-commerce brands.
Wow.
And so we're going to be working with him on launching that for our clients. It'll be a completely separate service. We'll be completely hands off in the delivery of the service, but it will be a game changer for our clients. And then essentially, if you're a part of the Hydra program, all of those KPIs and all of the data from your agency will get filtered back into our back end, because one thing that we do with all of our clients is we track KPIs. So everything from revenue, profit, calls booked, sales, calls taken, to closing percentages. Like we track everything, like if, because that's what it takes to build an agency is tracking this data on a monthly basis. A majority of that data is going to carry over automatically from the financial service. So we're going to get really clear insights on where each agency is, where their profits are. And so we can be higher tiered consultants and be just more effective in our consultancy. So we're stoked about that. We're also introducing a sales side of our service. We're partnering with another consultancy that's specifically on sales. If you guys, and we haven't solidified any deal yet, but it's at least the goal for Q1 to roll that out. So yeah, man, a lot of irons in the fire. That's like a handful of things. I'm sure I'm missing like a couple other ones, but like those are things that are kind of top of mind and really exciting right now. And what's wild is like we only have 3 people on our team, dude. It's me, my partner, and then we got Tyler over here shooting content. And it's like that's our team. So we're gonna have to start. Our time is becoming more and more stretched. So we're definitely going to be bringing on a team over the next 6 months of helping with some fulfillment tasks. People do buy into our program for Nicholas, my partner. So it is hard to sometimes pass on some of those tasks, but there are certain things that are very easily systemized. Like what I know is not special, but in any means, like I can teach people exactly to consult exactly how I consult. And so anyone that we bring on, if we do bring on people to help coach in the consultancy, they will be very well vetted and very well trained before they're just like let off the leash and
Yeah, of course.
let them run with clients, because obviously our reputation is like consultancy, like it's all about reputation, man. And that's why we haven't like pushed the gas pedal down until right now, until we felt like product was like really dialed in where we wanted it. So those are some of the goals. That's some of the stuff that we have rolling into 2023. We have pretty lofty projections for 2023. We'll see what happens, man. I'm like, makes my heart pound a little bit faster, and I'm like, oh shit, like,
dude, I'm excited to see it. I want to, dude, one of my goals this year is to make it out to one of your events. Whether you're speaking, hosting, being at, I'll be there. I won't even let you know. You will just see me there.
Wow.
And I will.
Well, I can tell you this, man. Like, our Hydra Council event will probably be the cheapest ticket out of anything.
What are you trying to say? What is that? I don't know.
Well, that means that I know that you'll show up if you buy a ticket to one of our events. But
I'm looking for the most expensive event. Like, if I buy the cheapest ticket, I might forget about it. I might not even show up. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much to go. So I gotta.
Well, here's the thing, man. Like, obviously, go to the events that you want to go to this year. But dude, like some events are just so expensive, and then like I don't know. Like, I guess they can they'll fill the room, but I'm like, there's value there for that price point, and I'm like, I don't necessarily know. And for me, like, I want to host an event where people have to fight to get tickets. I want it to be like a Taylor Swift concert of like, hey, Taylor Swift just posted that she's gonna have a concert and it sells out. Like, dude, like, sorry, if you missed it, you missed it. Like the FOMO's there, and like, dude, I'm sorry, like we don't have any more tickets. We don't have space for you.
Ticket resale, all that shit.
Exactly, man. Like I'm just like people scalping tickets.
Yeah, you sell it instantly. Can you imagine you actually have like a bot issue with your program?
Dude, I would die if that happened. We would. I wouldn't even know what to do if that happened. It'd be just another hurdle to jump over, you know.
Hey, you sold the tickets. Allow this one guy to enjoy an empty room.
That's right.
That's huge. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens with 2023 for you, and for everything you have going on. So obviously, it seems like you have a lot on your plate right now. But I trust that you'll kind of delegate everything accordingly and make sure
Yeah, man. We're pretty dialed in with just like my personal side. Like like I do the work that I want to do, and everything fits into the schedule. And if it, for me, like one thing I've been very careful about is my commitments over the
Yeah.
last year.
Mhm.
Because it doesn't matter the size of the commitment. In my opinion, like when you make a commitment to something, like that's a contract that I just signed, right? Whether it's just a verbal yes or whatever it is, right?
Right.
So if I say I'm going to do something, that means I have to show up, right? And there's been a couple times this past year where it's like, dude, like it was actually really hard for me to show up to certain things and show up in my best ability when I probably should have said no to certain things, right?
Definitely.
And so this year, like I'm just being very careful about my commitments and what I say yes to, only because one, I want to be able to show up my best wherever I'm at. But two, dude, like we have a lot of stuff going right now, and for me, it's like my attention and focus really has to be dialed in if we want to do what we say we're gonna do this year.
Yeah, no, I completely understood. And that's that's the downside of having integrity is when you say you'll do something, you have to do it, which is why
Dude, it sucks, man.
2023, one of my goals: no more integrity.
No more integrity. Just drop it off the face of the map. We don't need it anymore.
It's holding us back. I will tell everybody I will do everything. Guess what? I'm gonna do. No, but that's how some people live. It's so crazy. They're like, oh, I've had people. I'm sure you know people like this too. They'll tell you to your face, oh, dude, I'll see you. I'll call you back in 5 minutes. Oh, dude, I'll see you tonight. You'll never see them again, or whatever. Like, or more relevant sales call. This is amazing. This is exactly what we've been looking for. Send me the invoice right now. Dude, I'm gonna fulfill it in like 5 minutes. I'm just gonna do something. Disappear. It's like how, like how can you be so? I don't know. Curious. People are curious. So.
Dude, okay, I've talked a lot now. You tell me what's going on with you. What do you got rolling this year? What are you excited about?
Dude, a lot. Just everything. Like the trajectory I've been on is really cool. I feel like I've really been hitting a stride and just what the fuck I can do and like what I'm good at, what I'm capable to do. My network's growing like exponentially now, and I'm at the point where people are coming to me for stuff. Like I closed my first like inbound lead like a couple months ago from like a big retainer too. Like, and they found me off of like the bottom of a client website because a big service offering of mine right now is helping creators, specifically YouTubers, establish product brands, and essentially providing a full service solution to everything that goes into that, from product design, branding, brand messaging, web development, product development, customer service, store management. Basically, it's I imagine something as simple as Teespring for a creator, but actually the benefits of ownership and having a team run for you, covered by my team. So you talk to me, we already have the experience in e-commerce, business, and everything else. We just plug it in for you. We know exactly what works well with YouTuber brands. Specifically, we know what audiences appreciate. We know how to tailor a brand to a specific audience. And this is like my first time like developing a team too. And now I'm working with people that are super talented, way more talented than me, that I'm like genuinely fortunate to have like just in my network and working with me. And I really just want to flesh it out. And then also just working with content creators. There's so many other opportunities that have kind of opened up for me. Like specifically, one thing is, getting commission on sponsorship deals. Like YouTubers get paid big bucks for brands for a minute of their video. And just for myself, just connecting those people, because I have connections now with influence marketing agencies, connecting them to my network of influencers and just like, hey, you want to do this? Sure. Okay, cool. Quick 20% there with the people that I'm working with. Like a couple emails can, easily get me $5,000 to $10,000 in commissions just based off connecting those two people. And that's something that like will be huge for my agency right now. And that's like a low work, and obviously it's less impactful. There's no back end to that, but that's something that can provide like a healthy source of revenue. That's like, why wouldn't I if it's already there, right? So that's something that definitely planning on implementing that. And I've already closed my first like sponsorship commission deal, new contract signed on both ends, and I have a few more in the pipeline ready to go right now with a pretty hefty total value, which I'm super excited about.
I love it.
And then that's kind of my focus right now, is just helping develop, creators establish brands, helping creators move into brands, and then just go down that I don't know, that trail, I guess. Like I really just like where things are going. Like things are starting to feel right. Things are happening. Like yesterday I was about to shower. I had a guy who I've been kind of talking to FaceTime me, closed him within 30 minutes while I was in my robe on FaceTime. Like he can see, I was like, yeah, I was about to shower. He's like, you want to shower? I'm like, no, let's chat. Ended up closing, paid on the spot, got a new client like then and there. Because right now, like I don't really do too much digital marketing anymore. Specifically, like people will come to me and I'll do it. Like but that's not something that I'm pushed here. Like my main focus on like outgoing is like develop brands. There's so much more opportunity. I love it. It's fun. But digital marketing is obviously a blast. That's where my primary skill set is, and that's where that's something that. But I don't know. That's just like, and that's like work too. Outside of that, dude, fucking got my first stripe on my white belt in jiu-jitsu. Been doing that for 3.5 months now.
That's exciting.
I'm gymless right now because my gym closed down, so I gotta find a new gym.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was going to a local gym, and like after 22 years, they just like their landlord sold the building because they were on a month-to-month lease. Like they didn't have a contract.
Oh my gosh.
So I went to go work out one day, and there was a sign on the door like, "Hey, yeah, after 22 years, we're closed." And I was like, "Oh shit, okay, cool."
Well, hopefully they find a new spot.
They will not find a spot. No, that gym is long gone now. It was falling apart. But dude, I don't know what to talk about. I'm just hyped with this apartment. Like I bought a fucking desk today. Like, dude, like I want to get some new music out, but like one thing I realized is like I do not want to be a poor rapper. Like there's so many people that like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. It's like I want to be like on some Drake shit. It's like, oh yeah, like okay, like because right now I'm 22. I turned 22 like a few months ago. I turned 22 in August, so I'm a few months into 22. It's like okay, by the time I'm 25, I'll be cool. Like if I'm not a millionaire by 25, there's an issue. There is genuinely an issue. But at that point, it's okay. I've experienced a lot of things. I've either potentially had an exit or I've delegated to the point where my time is free. At this point, like, and obviously in the background, I've been sharpening my tools. Okay, now, like, yeah, I've traveled a lot. I've experienced some cool things. I've been to some cool places. I have a plethora of things to talk about that require no form of exaggeration. It's just the truth. And that's where the best shit comes from. So I'm excited just to see what music comes out of my, my journey, my success and whatnot. And that's something that I've kind of accepted too. Is, I don't know, I've always tried to force shit. Like, oh, I shouldn't make music right now. It's like, nah, dude, I should be fucking focusing and locking in because I have the opportunity of a lifetime. And
true.
So yeah, that's just that. I don't want to talk too much about myself, and I want you to talk to some other people. But dude, I just want to talk to you specifically because you're a great guy.
You're a great guy.
I'd like to give you some credit for being where I am right now because your network is cool. Well, your show is impactful, and I know I wouldn't be where I am without the knowledge and without the encouragement, without the inspiration of seeing what's possible. And just it's cool. So I want to credit you with some of that. I want to
always tell people you would have figured it out regardless if I was around or not.
But maybe not at this rate, and maybe not without a little hiccup. So any help is appreciated. Maybe. And the content you provide, and you do. That's something that I want to be. Is like just by being myself, people are inspired by you, and that's something that's cool as fuck. And I've had friends tell me like, dude, I look up to you, and I'm just like, what do you mean you look up to me? Like we're the same age. And he's like, oh, but you're like, I have friends that like work minimum wage type shit from school, and they're like, but like you're on the grind. I'm like, you can do it. Like I just work. Like I don't know, I'm just doing shit. Like I'll leave you with the question. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think? Because I feel fortunate to have like looking at my journey and like where I'm at now. I feel very fortunate that things kind of seem to have fallen into place, and I feel very fortunate that I went down a path that brought me to the mindset that I have, that brought me to the opportunities I have, and I feel very fortunate for that. And I look at people who are my age, similar position, but they don't have it. They don't have the mindset. They don't get it. They're not doing something. It's like, is that something that you think? Are you of the mindset of like, well, they're just not working hard enough. They're not doing it, or are you the mindset of like, my unique path brought me to this point, and I'm just doing my job. But like, if somebody else was in this position, they might have got like, I don't know where I stand on that. I don't know if I am who I am because of. I'm sure it's a mixture, but it's like, is it because I'm intuitively like I was born with this way, or was it strictly my path? Like, what is your thought on that? Because I've been trying to think about that because there's so many differences that I see beside like myself and other people. I'm like, what makes that difference?
Yeah. So what's the question?
Is it nature versus nurture when it comes to like what do you feel about yourself personally? Do you feel like you're the person you are because you are just you're just a go-getter? That's just the way you were born, or do you think that your unique journey brought you to the position you're at now?
No, I mean, obviously my unique journey has led me to exactly where I'm at now. I don't think any other journey could take me to where I'm at now. I think my upbringing has a big part to do with it as well. My dad is an entrepreneur, has been a serial entrepreneur since I've been alive. So I think I've always had that a little bit in my blood. Just watching him growing up, owned 3 small businesses, built 3 of the houses that we lived in when I was a kid, and was my varsity baseball coach. And I'm like, to this day, I'm still baffled by those things because I'm like, I'm running one business and I'm like, how? Like, I couldn't coach a varsity baseball team right now. I couldn't spend time building a house for myself, right?
Mhm.
And it's funny. I actually asked him. I asked him about a year ago, specifically on that specific subject, and I was how did you do all of it? Uh, and he was like, well, he goes, you just kind of learn to balance things out, and you just do it. Like when you have no other choice but to do it, you just do it. And I was like, all right, fair enough. You know, like you make time for the things that are important to you, and for me, like those are the things that were important to me, so that's what I made time for. And I was like, fair enough. But to kind of answer your question, like I think unfortunately some people will never have the opportunity or will never be led down the path of entrepreneurship or the ability to think the way that we think only because they're tied to their circumstances and their environment, right? I think that's a very true thing. Um, Unfortunately, some people will never see this side of entrepreneurship or never have the opportunity to build wealth. It's super sad, because I think there's a lot of people capable of what we're capable. Like we're not special in any means. We just, you know, unfortunately we're put into an environment where we got around the right people who said the right things that inspired us in the right ways.
That's what, yeah, and that's what I try because like I don't think I'm special. I don't think I'm special. Like I feel like I'm just a regular dude who just
Yeah,
like was fortunate to. I'm fortunate to be
yeah,
in that, and that's
dude.
one thing that I try
I
to
mean, I
contemplate.
was a I was a B and C student in high school and college. Like, was not special at all. I worked my ass off to get B's and C's. Like I worked extremely hard, tutors, like the whole 9 yards.
Really,
If anything, I was just like the most gritty person. Um, just to be average, right? And I'm like, damn. And I remember like even my brother's incredibly smart. He's an engineer. And
sounds right.
the dude would just like literally show up to class and you'd be like, got it, understood. And then you just, you wouldn't study and take the test and get an A. And I'm like, what? I was like, how? Like me,
Impressive.
like even today, like my reading comprehension is horrible. I love reading, man, but my reading comprehension is horrible. And so like I have to reread books like sometimes 2 or 3 times. Like I have to take I've got it down to a science now. I literally I buy the Audible, I buy the book, I highlight inside of the book, and then after I highlight a chapter, I go back, I reread the chapter with all the highlights, and I make notes and annotations on
Yeah,
those. It takes me like a month to read one book,
same.
right? And so for me, it's like I have to work very diligently to learn something. But I think that's what makes me a good, or at least a decent entrepreneur, is that like, dude, I'll bang my head against the desk until I figure it out. I don't care, you know?
Dude, that's resilience. I think that's what I was talking about. And I think that's it's interesting, man. I'm not to stop some like exponential shit, but that's for me. That's something that I always try to think about because like for me, like I'm oh that's one thing I'm very fortunate about is I don't know where my mindset came from. I have no my dad was a pathological liar. And he worked in the petroleum production plant. I was not around for like most of my life. My mom always worked minimum wage jobs and really struggled like consistently. So it's
Yeah.
like I've never been exposed to entrepreneurship in any capacity until I was like I experienced it online in high school, like grade like
Yeah.
10, 12, 11. And I think it just something resonated with me. But that's like I was like from an early age, like there was no like
Well, you were
precursor
ex-
to this.
you were
Like
exposed to what you didn't want.
I think, and maybe that's it. It was the opposite. It wasn't so close. It was so opposite. It was just like
Yeah.
okay, like it did the reverse effect. Um,
Yeah, dude,
but who knows? But who knows?
that's a good word, my friend. I love
Okay.
that.
I love you, man. I love you.
Dude,
You say
I
that
love you,
sometimes.
bro.
I like that. I like when people use that. Dude, keep it up. Truly, you're doing good work. I'm excited to see what happens 2023. And dude, I'm excited to give you more updates. So I feel proud of myself when I text you and I'm just like, had my
Yeah,
first X month, had my first X
let's
month.
go, man. It
Um,
There will never be someone running my Instagram account, so always feel free to DM me. It'll be me responding and always. So
of course, I wasn't concerned about that, but I'm glad I have the reassurance that it's you and only you.
it's
Because now, like,
me, baby. That
like,
drives me nuts, man. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, oh, this is so and so's VA. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like Gary Vee even responds to people. He doesn't respond to everyone, but it's like he's the person responding in his DM. He ain't got no VA in there, shooting people
yeah.
messages.
Okay.
Like
Yeah. He's
that shit's
online. He's
wild to
online.
me.
All right, I'm gonna go hop on a sales call and make
All
some more
right.
money.
Okay. Make some
Have
more
a great
money,
night.
bro. Crush it, bro. We'll see you later. All right, fam. Oz, I don't know if you want to chat at all. Happy to chat if you want to chat. But if not, we're going to go create some micro content for a little bit. Hopefully, this agency therapy is helpful. If you guys are just now joining us, rewind, go back, watch the whole thing. I know it's an hour and 20 minutes, but there's some good stuff in there. You want to come on, us? Jump on in, brother. Get on in here. Do you still have the link? The link is in the chat a little bit above. I can drop it again if you need it. Yeah. You can join the same link. I believe. If not, if it doesn't work, let me know. But I can get you in. This link right here. Okay. Boom. The man, the myth, the legend. Oh, I can't hear you. Nothing yet. I don't see the little green bar on your thing. Maybe just click the microphone button and see if it's the right one that's connected. Sometimes it changes. It's kind of weird sometimes. Nothing yet. It might be either the wrong microphone is active on Restream. Ah, there we go. Now I gotcha.
All right. Good stuff. How's it
What's up,
going, man?
bruh?
Doing all right?
Oh, just plugging away, man. Today was a long one, but a very great day. We had some good workshops today. Did a lot going on. I'm excited though. It's fun.
Heck yeah, man. Happy to hear that. It's gotta be exciting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean we're stoked on everything that's happening right now. We're just, we're just trying to keep her going. Ride the wave, man.
I feel you, man. So I popped in late for the 10 things, but what do you think is like the most important one of the 10 commandments of agency life,
Yeah. I think it really will depend on everyone's circumstances. But I think a balance of specialization and client results is going to be really the key for most people in 2023, right? Being specialized specifically in your niche and making sure that you can actually deliver the result that you say you could deliver, right? I think the days of the generalist agencies of we just like run Facebook ads for like everyone, or we just create content for like everyone. It's hard, man. Like when you're going up against people that are specialized, like I create content specifically for entrepreneurs that are X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
Like that's hard to compete with, man, when you're just like, I just create content for everyone. Yeah. Right. So with that being said, I think, more and more the specialization is going to be needed. And then as you grow as an agency, then you expand those horizons a little bit more into other verticals or other things that you're passionate about. But like I said, like Aaron Nospish and his team are the perfect example of dude, you can build a multi-million-dollar agency on something so specific and so vertical. And I think people are just afraid to do it. And I don't understand why. I mean, it's been proven time and time again. It's like the classic guru saying of like niche down, right? It's like either that or raise your prices, which do like true like 99% of the time as well. Most of us can be consultants with those two things alone. So
yeah, I agree, man. I think this year is going to be like an interesting one because it's like there's a lot of different avenues that you can take. Some like an agency like us where it's like video production or those kinds of things. But I think we're starting to really find our sweet spot, if you will.
And it takes time to figure out, man. Like, and that's what I love about, your position that you're in is like, you're now getting to that point of you're getting it figured out, right? Like that first year sucks, bro. Like I remember the first year of the consultancy, I was like, I don't even know what I want to consult on. I was like, I know I want to work with agencies. Like that's who I'm going to work with. That's going to be my niche. I knew that, but I was like, I don't know what the problems are. I don't know what I'm trying to fix. Like I'm just coming in here and I'm literally throwing paint on the wall and seeing what sticks. And like it sucked because like I knew that the product wasn't very good. And when you know that in the back of your head, it's like you do anything to try and fix it.
Yeah, you feel a little bit like an imposter. Yeah, man. Exactly, I think it's we're starting to figure out like who this works best for, and then like kind of getting a little bit more stringent about like who qualifies and who doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. And those qualifications become really important. Like you'll hear me talk about, our agency model all the time. It's like, hey, agencies 40K and above, and agencies 80K and above. Like those are the buckets that we fall in. Like, unfortunately, like we've measured enough success with our clients of like agencies that aren't quite there yet. They either just aren't very successful with our program because they just don't have the problems that we're trying to fix yet, or they're still trying to figure out their footing, right, in their own traction. So so for us, it's like we play very much within those constraints, and if someone falls outside of those constraints, then we just don't take them on.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. Yeah, we're starting to see like what it really works with and all the different kinds of things. And it's like there's also just, I think part of it for us has just been like we've kind of delved into the world that we never wanted to, which is like a little bit like the ads creatives. Nothing like in-house production and stuff like that.
Sure.
But it's like specific for agency owners because it's like we're already doing a lot of their B2B, but now like we're toying around with like their B2C, and then it's like, oh, we understand them so well that we're able to pump out a creative that works for them.
Sure.
So it's been an interesting little journey, man. Q4 slowed down a bit. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, man, is like it's still very young in your guys' agency journey, and it's like you're not supposed to have it figured out yet. And like give yourself that patience, give yourself the leeway to like make the mistakes early on and do like it gets figured out. Like that's just part of our nature as entrepreneurs. Like we have the grit and we have the ability to see a problem, not necessarily know the answer immediately, but like eventually figure it out, whether it takes, a couple months or whatever. It's like eventually you'll get it figured out and then you finally fall into a bucket. And like that's kind of like where we're at right now with our consultancy. It's like it took us 2 years to figure out exactly where we should be and what we should be doing. And it's like that's totally okay. But for me, it's like I refuse to scale until we had a good service, right? It's like don't have a good service, don't scale it, right? Like wait until you have something that bangs and then put the floor down or put the pedal down to the floor on it, And so for us, it's like I feel like that's the season we're entering right now, where it's like, okay, like we feel good about this, like we've gotten the track record, we've seen a lot of great client results from it. Let's freaking go. Like we just need to get better team infrastructure in place, a little better systems, and we're right in alignment with where we need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's been such a big thing because it's like I think a lot of the entrepreneur like problems with like entrepreneurs. It's like getting them to show up, get them to deliver on time, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And it's like now we've like in this year, I will say like the first year is definitely like it's a roller coaster, and I'm incredibly proud of what we've been able to do because it's like I started this business with like -$1,000 in my account, and I think last I checked, like we're about to cross over the multi-6-figure mark in our first year. So
that's incredible.
Wild.
You generated multiple 6 figures in your first year of business. Like that's nothing to be mad about,
Yeah, it's definitely something to be proud of, but it's like it's still like it's like even having seen like some some signs of success, like it's always like okay, how can I get better? How can I get clearer? Especially for us because it's like it feels so conceptual, right? It's like I'm having to like superimpose creativity or certain restraints and like make people more fluid and stuff. And it's like I think that definitely, and it's like having seen like it's interesting because like I look back and it's like I think your trajectory has always been really cool to look at because it's like I think you were very much like one-on-one, a lot of like consulting, a lot of like the founder time, and then you're like okay cool, like what are the most common things, and so it's like now it's like I'm seeing a lot of those same constraints where it's like okay cool, like the onboarding fee should probably just include like some one-on-one coaching because there's going to be some people that are never going to open up the course, and there's going to be some people that will go through the whole thing and look at it ad nauseum, and so like now we're like getting ready to like create a product for us. So it's just it's an interesting little roller coaster, man. Having a business, it's wild. Did have I guess I wanted to kind of like give you I guess just some questions about like a 2022 recap from Josh Johnston for your content. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about my
like
inconsistencies, please.
Yeah, let's talk about no, it's not about your content, man. It's strictly just about like it's just like rapid fire questions, like
Sure.
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Let's do it, man. I'm totally down.
All right, cool. So we can start off at what are you most proud of for this year? Like what are you most excited about that you were able to accomplish in 2022?
Yeah. I think for this year, we finally built a product that we're really proud of and we're not afraid to push into market. So for me, like that was kind of like the goal for this year is like we scaled a decent amount, but for us, like a lot of it happened organically. We didn't really start implementing marketing strategies until Q4 of this year. And when we started doing that, as like when things started to take off just a little bit, and we were like, okay, like we know the marketing strategy works, but like the product had to be good before the marketing strategy really went down. And we knew we had something decent because we were getting just organic referrals from it. And we people were referring a decent amount of work to us, and anytime that happens, you got something halfway decent. So for us, like we put the final touches on our Phoenix program, and then we rolled it out to the public pretty much. And yeah, I mean it's just been it hasn't been like crazy rapid growth. Like we're not doing anything too nuts yet, but like 2023 will be a true test of like our hard work over this year. Which Nicholas, I will tell you this, like that dude has put in so much work into our product. While I just kind of, like I put some work into the product, but he is like truly the mastermind behind a lot of what we do now. While I'm just kind of like face marketing, land deals, take sales calls, talk to clients, things like that. So, it is really, for me, like having a partner during all of this has been just massive. So I would say a combination of like having Nicholas as a partner because he came on this year as a partner in Hydra, and then also solidifying our product to like a position where we're like, okay, cool, like this thing is sick, like let's roll it.
Yeah. What do you think is the hardest lesson for this year? Like the hardest thing that like what was the toughest one to learn?
Yeah, like honestly, I battled a lot of mental battles this year, believe it or not. And grass is always greener on the other side. I think everyone's always crushing it, but luckily I had some great mentors and great people in my circle to help me kind of get pulled out of those a few of the tough mental battles. But a lot of it was just like specifically on losing. Like we've been winning for 2 years straight, and I'm just like, okay, but what happens if we do lose it? What happens if we do it? It was just like such a scarcity mindset that I was in. It's funny, Bo Harrelson is someone that I talk to about this quite often. And we were like, okay, like, but like, and for whether you're spiritual or not, like we had a pretty spiritual conversation about it. It was like, why would God specifically like put me in the furnace of like what I went through in my past to only like build me up and then just like tear everything back down, right? Why would that be my journey, right? Whether it's spiritual or not a spiritual journey, it's like why would that be the journey that like my purpose on this planet is like to just like come out of the fire, build something cool, and then just like get thrown right back in the fire. And so that was the realization I really had to make for myself because like it was almost like I felt like I didn't deserve it. And it was a mental battle for a minute, man. Like it was tough to work through, but got through it, man, and we're on the up and up. So
yeah, dude, Bo's a saint. I'm in his program and his calls and stuff like that. So he and I talk quite frequently, and he's been great as well for the growth. So I appreciate the introduction. And
dude, Bo's one of my favorite people on the planet. He's a gem.
Honestly, one of the few people that I can say that are like incredibly genuine and give without like any expectation. Like of the few people at a very high caliber with a really high network and huge advocate for everybody that he that he talks with, that he works with.
He's doing incredible stuff too, man. I'm really excited for him. He's gonna be racking up some wins in 2023 as well.
Yeah, he's gonna be doing some awesome stuff. We're just starting to start working with some of his stuff. So that'll be a cool thing, man.
Dude, I'm stoked for it.
Oh, yeah, man. All right, bro. I'll leave it there.
You
Yeah, bro.
got to give me one
Yeah.
more. One
One
more.
more.
question.
One more. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. One more.
yeah. Rule of three. Rule of three.
Yeah. Rule of three. Yeah. What's the why does it matter?
Why does it matter, or what
Yeah.
does it matter?
Yeah, why does it matter?
Why
Why does what you're doing matter? And why do you do it, right? Like, why does it matter to you? Not like why does it matter to like the other people that you help, like the other things, but like why does it matter to you? Like what's the driver, you know?
Yeah, man. I think a lot of that like reflects back on my fitness career. So if you understand like kind of where I came from, so I came from like the Fit Body Bootcamp franchise. Had a really awesome CEO that mentored me incredibly well, and didn't even really realize it until after I left. And he was very focused on the impact that we had with clients. And if you guys are familiar with Fit Body Bootcamp at all, it's about it's group training sessions, about 40 to 50 people per session come to this, and we would run about 7 to 8 sessions per day. So like you're touching hundreds of lives every single day. And for me, like it's always kind of reflected back on that. Like, dude, I'm talking like majority of like 40-year-old female women coming to these sessions, but it's like, dude, like you're like the highlight of their day. Like they get off work and they don't have a good relationship with their husband. They don't have, their kids, they're just, I don't know, they don't respect them or whatever it is. Like this is the highlight of the day, like the best 30 minutes of their day every single day. And like that really carried over to me of like any business that I ran. It's like it's a service-based business. So like why is that any different? And it's like the impact and expansion that you have on other people is actually insane, man. Like if you actually think about the people that you serve, right? If I can help someone's business grow and I provide more opportunity for them, well, it doesn't just provide opportunity for them, it provides opportunities for their family, right? And it doesn't just provide opportunities for family, it also provides opportunity for their teammates, and they're able to hire more people and provide more livelihoods for people and give people opportunities that they wouldn't have in other places to work for awesome cultures and awesome businesses that are growing and expanding and providing incredible livelihoods for other people. And so for me, it's like there's a deep impact that of like what we do and the impact that we have on other people. And I think it's one of the most overlooked things in service-based businesses of like we show up every day because of the impact that we have on other people. And whether that is us jumping on an extra call with a client, whether that is messaging just back and forth late night, when people are kind of like struggling through hard times. It's like, dude, like not every agency owner is winning right now. It's like that's just part of the game. And so for us, it's like being an open ear and just having a positive impact on people. Like that's the reason that we do what we do every day. That's why I wake up early in the morning and go to bed at, 9:30 is not late, but sometimes it feels like,
I think if you woke up at like normal hour, that would be like what, like 10, 11, 12,
it's
like around midnight. It would be the same as a late night,
Yeah, let me tell you, by the time the day is over, like you're like, dude, I've got nothing left in the tank, and there's no better feeling of like ending to the day and like putting the check mark on it and being like, dude, I gave it everything today, like left it all out there on the court, like nothing else in the tank. Like that's a good feeling. And when you can do that for other people, I don't know, I think it's special, man. And I kind of play, the rules of my life of like, regardless of people paying us, regardless of people wanting to pay us or will ever pay us, we're gonna help people regardless. I don't care. Like you can show up to all of our free stuff forever and never pay me ever, in our entirety of knowing each other. Doesn't matter to me. But if I can help you, that's awesome.
There you go. I'm happy, man.
Yeah. So it's all good stuff, man. So we're all on this journey together, and it's like, hey, we might as well try and build each other up in the meantime, So
Exactly, man. Well, dude, it was a pleasure catching up. Hope you're crushing it. Hope you're doing well. Actually,
you too, brother.
Well. And
we're rocking and rolling, baby.
I'll catch you in 2023. Yeah.
Awesome, brother. Sounds good. Enjoy the new year. We'll catch you soon.
Likewise. Enjoy the tequila.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right, crew. Much love. I appreciate you guys coming to the last Agency Therapy of the Year. We're going to get this thing amped up in 2023. Super stoked on it. More content to come. Be on the lookout. If you're not subscribed, just subscribe. It's super easy. Like, it's just one click of a button. It doesn't hurt you at all. You get to see more of my content. So if you're here attending, chances are you like what I have to say sometimes and it provide some sort of value. So you might as well get notified when new stuff from us comes out. Okay.